Thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday. Meteorologist Brian Shields. Thank you for being with me while I'm doing some traveling. And thank you for taking the time to put on those notifications. A lot of you are throwing likes on these videos. And to all the new subscribers, welcome and thank you as we head deeper into the hurricane season. All right, let's get to these tropical waves. Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada. I want to get into the southeastern Caribbean near St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a lot of tropical waves. Now, early in the season, which kind of still are right now, the tropical waves are a little bit more to the south, but as we get into later in June and July, they're going to lift more and more to the north. That's that convergence zone, and that'll bring more moisture back toward say St. Lucia down the road, Barbados, Dominica, and then eventually up toward the northeastern Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda. So we're going to be watching this shift. I want to get to those tropical waves and of course this surge of moisture. How about Belize? We were talking about this I think a month and a half ago, that the first and second weeks of June it would get wetter, and that has worked out, and that makes me feel grateful because of just how much rain we needed to get. And I know many spots are still dry, Mexico included. We need some rain in Nicaragua, but we are seeing some rain. Cayman Islands, we've had some flooding. Thank you for your reports, leaving those comments, because we've had some flooding, but overall the problems haven't been too bad. As I last checked our comments across the Cayman Islands and Jamaica, we're going to be on the edge of some of this heavier rain. Now I want to get into the biggest thing for the hurricane season first. So water temperatures, we know those are warm and they're running well above average. But as you get into the summertime and fall, remember hurricane season goes all the way into autumn, the water temperatures are warm enough for development. You can see some of them here, 30 degrees Celsius, 86 to about 88 degrees Fahrenheit. That's more like July. Okay, so water temperatures are warm, but the biggest thing is the heat content, and this is some research done by Brian McNulty out of the University of Miami. He does a wonderful job, and I'll try to use his graphics and charts as we go throughout the season. This here is the Caribbean, and you see these brighter colors that are popping up. This is the most important thing for the hurricane season. This is the ocean heat content. What is that? That's warm water, not just at the surface. I showed you the temps are warm, but it's warm below. So as a hurricane or tropical storm or developing system rolls over this type of water, it just pulls up more warm water and more fuel. So not only are the water temperatures warm, they're very deep and warm, and that is a big problem for the hurricane season. I don't mean that in an alarming way. I want you to know what I'm watching for the season. Anytime we get a system moving over these pockets, I don't just watch the computer models. I'm watching what's going on above our heads and even below in the water. And these pockets could give a big surge to some of the systems as we get into the season. Point being, you could have a weak tropical storm intensifying to a Category 3 hurricane rather quickly this upcoming season. And that is a concern. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That's a concern, and that's what we'll watch. Now, I know this chart is crazy, but what this is showing is the ocean heat content right in the Caribbean, okay? So this darker red line right now, that's where we are. This is from yesterday. I pulled this from Brian's information yesterday, and you can see here, this is June 8th, but this is closer to what we get in late August and early September. So the heat content, the deep warm water right now is like what we get in the heart of the hurricane season, late August, early September. So you see that's a huge difference. We're running almost 2 to 3 months ahead of schedule for the heat content. And that means while I don't see any development now, once things get going, they could get going in a bigger way. It does not mean we're going to get hit by a storm, but there is going to be a lot of activity out there, and the storms can intensify rather quickly this season. That's just what it is. So I don't like to be one of those channels that just tells you it's going to be a scary season. I like to show you why and what I'm seeing. Now here's the European model, and the good news is no signs of development. Just kind of going through this. This is by Tuesday, and I'll go slower in a second. This is by Tuesday. You can see the buildup of moisture like I was talking about in yesterday's video. I'm not seeing this really spinning up, and a lot of the models have actually backed off of that. So you can see we're going to get a lot of extra rain through parts of the Bahamas, Cuba, still the Cayman Islands, parts of Central America, and lifting up to Florida, which has been way too dry. Florida, it's going to get really wet as we go throughout the upcoming week. You see parts of the Bahamas. A lot of the rain the last couple weeks has been central and southern Bahamas. Northern Bahamas, we have not gotten it, but around New Providence up to the north, we'll see a better chance as the week goes on. This is as we work our way into Thursday and Friday of the upcoming week. So you still see a lot of rain around, but no signs of anything spinning up or anything developing, but the rain and some of the same, and by the way, we're going to get into these tropical waves in a moment, but you can see some of the rain in some of the same locations, and that's going to be an issue, and that's why we're going to see some flooding and even some major flooding in some spots that get some of the repeat storms, but at least we're not seeing some signs of development. So here's the broader picture. That was the European model. This is the American model. Then I want to zoom down into the tropical waves moving toward Trinidad and Tobago, and you can see some of the rain, but also the American model. I think it was about 3 or 4 days ago, I was mentioning how it was showing a tropical storm, but it kept bumping it out in time, which means it wasn't really doing a great job with development. The American model usually likes to spin something up. So you'll see some channels showing some, hey, there's going to be a hurricane in 2 weeks. I'm not seeing any signs of that. In the short term, the American model is not even showing development, but it is showing that rain. Just so you can see, this is by Thursday, just like the European model. So in the short term, they're in very good agreement. Anything past 7 days is not very reliable. So watching that moisture building and then that next surge that will be working its way in to the Eastern Caribbean. So this is a 7-day rain outlook. And this is off my chart with the colors. Cayman Islands, Cuba, over toward parts of Florida and the Bahamas. We're going to see some of the rain totals over 150 millimeters of rain, upwards of 300 millimeters of rain. 300, that would be a foot of rain. It's not going to be all at once, and that's the good thing. That'll allow some runoff, so we're not getting dumped on in one day. This is a 7-day rain total, but that's a foot of rain right in this core where you're seeing some of the reds and some of the yellows popping up. Cuba, we're going to see some flooding because we've already had some of that rain, especially western and central zones and back through the Cayman Islands. Now, in the shorter term, you see that flare-up of rain near Belize. Let me know what you got going on. Finally, some welcome rain around. Still, I say that with thinking of those that are still too dry, because we have spots eastern and western Caribbean where we need to get some of the rain, but you see some of the scattered areas of rain and these new little tropical disturbances moving in. Watching Trinidad and Tobago, you can see that rain I was mentioning right at the beginning of this video, scattered showers around, but as we go throughout the month, that'll lift to the north. But Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a better chance of at least getting scattered showers, not a washout. I'll get to that in the 3-day forecast. And there's that rain around over toward the Cayman Islands and scattered about across Central America. So this is today, getting into tomorrow. There's the blob of rain we've been highlighting for about a week together, right on track. And then you see into the southeastern Caribbean, there's that better chance of rain in Trinidad. So thank you for spreading this channel across Trinidad and Tobago. Grenada will see a better chance of rain, even trying to live through parts of St. Vincent and the Grenadines where we need to get some of that rain. You see it right there, those tropical waves coming in for the week ahead. I'm going to be watching that and then watching this surge of moisture. And as these tropical waves move into the Caribbean, I'll monitor, of course, for any signs of development, but the next few days, not seeing that. So breaking down the rain totals, Grenada south, higher totals. These are 3-day totals, not like the 7-day totals I was showing you a second ago. Scattered showers, not all of us in Trinidad are going to get this, but 100 millimeters of rain to 4 inches of rain over the next 3 days. That is definitely going to help out. Of course, we have some areas, southern sections, that typically take on some flooding even quickly, even though we've been so dry. Let me know if you have any problems the next few days. I'll be sure to pass that along. Northeastern Caribbean, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, we could use some rain. Montserrat, Saba, you see from Antigua and Barbuda down through about Dominica and even Martinique, rain chance isn't super high. St. Lucia over toward Barbados, scattered showers, a couple isolated ones as we get back toward the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Haiti and the Dominican Republic, not as much. Haiti and especially the DR, we've still had those issues with flooding. There'll still be a few storms, but more of it is just off toward the west, and you see it here. Here's Jamaica, here's Cuba, Turks and Caicos. You get toward the Bahamas, Freeport. We're finally later in the week going to get a better chance of rain in the northern Bahamas. Surge of moisture. Jamaica, I want you to know that I'm watching us in Jamaica very carefully because we're going to be on the edge of it. It looks like most of the rain's still to the west. That's still what I'm seeing. I've been saying that the last about 3 to 4 days. Scattered showers will be possible, but any nudge in kind of building this moisture into our direction could increase the flood threat. If that happens, I'll let you know right away. But the Cayman Islands, we're going to see just the next 3 days an additional 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain. Not an organized system. This is not a tropical storm, but there will be those tropical downpours. Mexico Mexico proper, definitely on the dry side for the most part. Yucatan, back toward Belize, northern Honduras, scattered showers, an additional 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain in spots. Into the middle of the U.S., watching out for another threat of some severe weather, but there's that surge of moisture. And the Atlantic region of Canada, like I was showing yesterday, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, we're going to see those scattered showers at times just kind of pinwheeling in over the next few days. As we get toward the eastern Pacific, no signs of development either. Both the Atlantic and the eastern Pacific, things have been relatively quiet for tropical development, not much, and I'll keep an eye on that, watching the eastern Pacific side too. So Jamaica on the edge of the heavy rain, a few isolated to scattered showers and storms with the Cayman Islands. We're going to see the flooding. Please keep me posted. I am checking those comments throughout the day. I do my best to get to every single one of those. So if you are getting some flooding or not, let me know in the Cayman Islands, and we'll help kind of get the word out on this channel. Trinidad, as I was showing us, we're going to see those scattered areas of rain moving in at times. It could be one of those scenarios, though. One spot is still a little bit too dry, while others are starting to get some of the rain, and I'm hoping some of this rain gets back to other spots. Barbados, 30% to about a 40% chance. Same thing in St. Lucia, some isolated showers. More of it will be just to the south. Grenada, the rain chance is bumping up over the next few days. Same thing, St. Vincent the Grenadines. Not a 100% chance, but I'm hoping some of the showers near Trinidad kind of creep up to the north toward Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But you get just to the north of that, Martinique, rain chance is not super high, 20 to 30% chance in Dominica. Guadeloupe, we're looking at about a 20% chance. And you see, as we work our way back toward the northeastern Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda, the rain chance is lower. Not to say we can't get a passing shower, just not much. St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, and about a 10% chance Anguilla and St. Bart's. Rain chance stays on the smaller side. St. Martin, Saba and Statia, 10 to 20% chance, and some isolated storms in Puerto Rico. We had a couple yesterday, some isolated areas of storms with their daytime heating, but the U.S. and British Virgin Islands mainly on the dry side. 50% chance of rain in the Bahamas. That's because we're going to see it kind of shifting into different locations. As we get deeper into the week, a better chance of rain in the northern Bahamas. Turks and Caicos, 30% chance. And as we get toward the Dominican Republic, an isolated shower storm. Very isolated in Haiti at this point. We're drier, most of the rain off to the west. Belize, though, watching some of the rain around today. Let me know, scattered to widespread showers. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, the ABC Islands, we are too dry, too hot. Hopefully some of the showers near Trinidad and northern Venezuela could kind of squeak by later this week. Guyana, Suriname, rain chance about 60, 70%, depending on exact locations. And then we get toward the western and central areas of Cuba, watching out for some of the rain. Costa Rica and Panama, scattered areas of rain. Some spots in Panama, we still need to get some rain around. We've been too dry. Nicaragua, about a 50% chance. The spots that have been getting rain continue to get scattered showers. Other spots, not a lot. Honduras, about a 50% chance. 40% chance as we get toward Guatemala and El Salvador. El Salvador, just an isolated chance of a storm. Mexico City, isolated storm as we hit the afternoon, but much of Mexico dry. The Yucatan of Mexico, the peninsula, a better chance of getting some of the rain. Northern Venezuela, 30 to 40% chance, and some isolated showers possible in Bermuda, but the rain chance not too high in Bermuda. So no signs of development right now. Watching that large area of rain near the Cayman Islands, that will continue to lift to the north. Multiple tropical waves moving into the Caribbean as we go throughout the week, and that's what I'll be tracking day by day for you on this channel. And the heat content, as I was talking about earlier in this video, the heat content, that is the most critical item as we get into the upcoming hurricane season. On average, June gets one named storm. No signs of that at this point. So thank you for being part of this weather community, and I hope you have a good day ahead.